Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. Spokane City Council members are running low on time to approve a multi-million-dollar contract to keep that Trent Avenue shelter open this winter. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk explains what is at stake, new at 10.
Council members were expected to vote on a contract extension with the Salvation Army today, but decided to wait until a special meeting on December 14th. The Salvation Army says it will need nearly $4 million to keep the Trent shelter open through April, $3.2 million to pay for operating costs, food, laundry, and other services, and $730,000 to cover Salvation Army going over budget this year. Council members are not happy with the price tag, and Council President Betsy Wilkerson said last month it's more than the city can really afford. Tonight, council members passed a resolution to place a park improvement levy on the August ballot. The levy proposes an increase in regular property taxes by 29 cents per 1,000 of assessed value beginning in 2025 and for the next 20 years. If approved by voters, the levy would generate roughly $11 million annually to fund park renovations, improvements, and pay for additional park rangers and maintenance staff.
They want to be out in the parks this summer to really let the citizens know what's coming to their neighborhoods.
Also tonight, council members saluted Karen Stratton and her service to the city. Stratton has been on the council since 2014 and will finish her term at the end of the year.
I hope that I will be remembered as somebody that stood up for our employees, for people in my district, and for somebody that truly believes we can get a lot more done without the politics in the room.
Now, this was the last regularly scheduled meeting of the year. Council will hold a special meeting 10 days from now and are expected to make a decision regarding the Trent shelter. In the studio, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
And happening tomorrow, the Liberty Lake City Council could adopt a library ordinance. The ordinance would give council more say over the library board and its policies. The revised proposal was initiated by a council member who recently lost in the general election, causing some to say it's just a sneaky attempt to take advantage of a loophole while he is still in that seat. That meeting is set for tomorrow at 6. We are tracking breaking news in Arlington, Virginia. A house exploded as officers were serving a search warrant. Investigators say a man in the home was reportedly firing a flare gun just after 4 this afternoon. People in the area are being told to shelter in place right now. A few police officers received minor injuries. It is not known right now if anyone else was hurt. The suspect, whose name is not known right now, has not been found. The fire has been contained at this hour. Crews are just working to mop up the hot spots. This is a developing story. We will bring you an update just as soon as we learn more. All right, turning to weather now. Today's rain turned much of our snow and ice into slush, and we've got more rain on the way. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Ledoux to find out what's in store. Jeremy?
Well, when it comes to the next few days, it is going to be warm and wet across much of the region. We sit at 35 degrees right now, and that's about where we've been for a good chunk of the day. A little bit of fog starting to form, and that reduced visibility is just because of all of the moisture. We've got the cold, we've got the snow on the ground, and we've got the moisture, so expect things to just kind of stay this way. Flood watch is in effect across much of the region. I think a bulk of this activity is going to be kind of worst up in Stevens County, Boundary County, Bonner County. That's where we're going to see this take the biggest hit. Overall, it's an atmospheric river pattern that's just pumping moisture into the region. For us, that means rain. We've seen a few of those showers kind of on and off, light in nature. Bulk of this stays over on the west side in a pattern like this, but we get widespread, pretty heavy rain overnight and expect that to continue on and off throughout the day tomorrow, eventually getting even more widespread on Wednesday. So this wet weather pattern isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We do get a little cooler closer to the weekend, and that means the return of snow.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. A suspected shoplifter was shot and killed by police at a North Spokane Walmart this weekend. Details are limited right now, but here's what we know. According to SPD, one of their officers requested backup for shoplifter prevention yesterday morning. Another officer arrived and they approached the person, and that's when they say the confrontation turned physical. The suspect was eventually shot and killed. Their identity has not been released yet. We are working to confirm more details. The investigation is being handled by the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. If you or someone you know was in the store and saw something, you can contact us at 509-448-2000. A 9-year-old from Othello, Washington was killed in a crash in southern Grant County after their family's car slid off an icy road. According to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, 3 other people were in the car, but the child was the only one killed. The other victims were taken to a nearby hospital and are expected to recover. A 48-year-old Idaho man faces 2 murder charges tonight after his wife and their unborn baby were found dead. His 10-month-old baby, who he kidnapped, was also found dead. The Teton County Sheriff's Office found Jeremy Best's pregnant wife's body on Thursday night, and that's when an Amber Alert for their baby was issued. 24 hours later, deputies found Best's SUV off a road in the area of Idaho Falls, and that is where they found the baby's body. Best was taken into custody and booked into the Bonneville County Jail. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. We have new details tonight about a suspected murder-suicide in Vancouver, Washington. Tonight, authorities say they believe the suspect shot and killed his wife, his 2 adult daughters, and his brother before turning the gun on himself. Investigators say the suspect texted a relative in the Seattle area early Sunday morning, telling him he had, quote, harmed people in the room, or home rather, but the relative did not see the message for several hours, and he wasn't able to alert police until noon.
It tends to kind of shock the conscience, I think, when a murder-suicide like this happens, or like any murder-suicide happens, but especially when it involves 5 people. I can't remember anything like this.
The Sheriff's Office says the investigation is active and ongoing, and there was no threat, they say, to the public. 2 Narcan vending machines have been installed in North Idaho, according to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press. You can find them at the pantry at St. Vincent de Paul in Coeur d'Alene and at the Shoshone County Fire District 2 in Kellogg. The medication blocks opiate receptors and can reverse an overdose and keep the person alive until first responders arrive. In national news tonight, a suspected Los Angeles serial killer appeared in court today. Jared Powell is charged with 4 counts of murder. Authorities believe Powell shot and killed 3 homeless men at random on November 26th, 27th, and 29th while they were asleep on the street. On November 28th, police saw Powell shot and killed a 4th man during a home robbery.
This person that allegedly killed 1 person every day for 4 days, just think about that for a moment.
An estimated 75,000 people are living on the streets across Los Angeles County on any given night. About a third of the homicide victims in LA last year were unhoused. If convicted on all charges, Powell faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now to a deadly shark attack in the Bahamas. A woman from Boston was paddleboarding this morning when she was attacked. She was brought to shore in a rescue boat where emergency medical personnel tried to resuscitate her, but she died from her injuries. Officials say deadly shark attacks are rare, but just 2 weeks ago, a German woman went missing off the coast of the Bahamas after encountering a tiger shark. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.